The school secretary kept smiling like this was normal. "I'm sorry, ma'am," she said, tapping the sign-out sheet. "Your mother already picked Lila up." My stomach dropped so fast I tasted pennies. "My mother isn't on the list," I said. "She can't take her." The secretary blinked. "She had your signature." "Show me." She slid the clipboard across the counter. It was my name, but it wasn't my handwriting. The loops were wrong, like someone drew me from memory. Through the glass doors, I saw them. My mom had one hand on Lila's backpack strap and the other on her elbow, guiding. Not holding, like she could call it help instead of taking. Lila's eyes were huge, scanning the parking lot like she was looking for a place to run. When she saw me, relief hit her face, then my mom leaned down and whispered into her ear. Lila's shoulders caved in. Her mouth closed. Her body went small. That's when I knew my daughter wasn't just upset. She wasn't safe. I pushed through the doors and said loud enough for everyone to hear, "Let go of my child." My mom turned with that wounded look she could summon in half a second. "Maya, don't do this in public." Lila stood between us, 10 years old, already learning the skill of disappearing when adults got sharp. I didn't argue with my mom first. I went straight to Lila. "Sweetheart, come to me," I said, keeping my voice low. My mom's fingers slid higher on Lila's arm. Not a grab, a claim. "We're going to see Ruth," my mom said, voice sweet. "It was already arranged." "By who?" I asked. "Because I didn't arrange anything." My mom sighed like I was exhausting. "You've been stressed. I'm helping." Helping. Her favorite word. She used it the way other people used handcuffs. I pulled my phone out and hit record, angled so it caught her hand on Lila. "Mom," I said calm, "take your hand off her." My mom's eyes flicked to the phone. Her smile twitched. She asked to come. My mom said louder, for the teachers drifting closer. "She's been crying. Haven't you, baby?" Lila shook her head so fast her ponytail slapped her neck. "I didn't—" My mom squeezed, just enough to interrupt. Lila flinched mid-sentence. Something in me went cold and clear. I dialed 911. "Willow Ridge Elementary," I told the dispatcher. "My daughter was signed out with a forged signature. Someone not authorized is attempting to take her." My mom's face tightened. "You're calling the police on your own mother?" "You forged my name," I said. "So yes." I slid my hand into Lila's and pulled her behind me. She pressed her forehead into my back like I was a wall. Then my mom did the move meant to finish me. She reached into her purse and unfolded a document like it was a magic trick. "You can't keep her from family," she said, shaking it a little. "Temporary guardianship. You signed it." I didn't touch the paper. I stared at it. My signature was there again, close enough to fool a stranger, wrong enough to make my skin crawl. And the date hit me harder than the ink. 2 months ago. 2 months ago. I'd been sick flu turned bronchitis so dizzy I couldn't stand without grabbing the counter. My mom had shown up with soup, cleaned my kitchen, told me to rest, told me she'd handle a few forms so I wouldn't have to. I remembered signing something without my glasses because she stood over me saying, "It's just school paperwork, honey. You trust me, right?" The officers arrived fast because a school doesn't like words like forged. My mom cried on cue. "I'm just protecting my granddaughter," she told them. "Maya's overwhelmed." They asked Lila who she wanted to go with. Lila didn't hesitate. She clung to my coat and whispered, "My mom." One officer stepped my mom back and said, "Ma'am, we're going to verify this paperwork. Right now, the child is leaving with her legal guardian." My mom's tears stopped instantly, like someone turned off a faucet. In the parking lot, Lila's hands shook so badly she buckled her seatbelt wrong twice. "Did Nana say where she was taking you?" I asked, keeping my voice steady. Lila swallowed. "She said Aunt Brooke was waiting," she whispered. "And if I didn't come, you'd lose the house." My throat tightened. "Did Nana say that?" Lila nodded, eyes glued to her knees. "And she said if I told anyone, you'd get in trouble." "Brooke," my older sister, the golden child my mom loved like an extension of herself. Ruth, the relative everyone suddenly acted devoted to when money was involved. At home, I locked every lock, then sat on the edge of Lila's bed while she picked at a loose thread on her sleeve, trying to stitch her nerves back together. "Am I in trouble?" she asked. "No," I said too fast, then softened. "No, baby. None of this is your fault." Her voice cracked. "Nana said I could help you." "By doing what?" Lila hesitated. "By going with her, so you could rest." Is the field of the face. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. One text. "Ruth wants to see Lila tonight. Don't fight it. It's for her future." Then a photo. The school sign-out sheet. My fake signature. And in the margin, in tight, neat handwriting, I recognized instantly Brooke's 3 words that made my scalp prickle. "Child will comply." I stared at it until the letters blurred. That wasn't a joke. That was a plan. I opened my file cabinet and pulled Lila's school forms. My mom's name wasn't authorized. Brooke's wasn't either, which meant they'd gone around the system. And then my email pinged. Subject: Urgent request for meeting. Ruth H. and minor child. Sender: a law firm I'd only ever seen on Ruth's holiday cards. The email gave a time: 7 p.m. It also said, "Please bring Lila. Do not bring any additional family. Not come alone. Specific. Deliberate." My heart hammered anyway, because the message felt like an order. Lila watched my face. "Do I have to go?" "I don't know yet," I admitted, and hated that honesty could scare her. But I knew one thing. My mother had forged my name once. She would do worse to get what she wanted. And whatever was happening with Ruth, my child had been placed in the middle like bait. Part 2. Ruth's place wasn't a mansion. It was a glass-walled office bolted onto the side of a logistics warehouse, bright lights, forklifts, trucks, the kind of money that didn't look pretty but paid a lot of people's rent. Ruth wasn't my grandma. She was my grandmother's sister, no kids of her own, so she built the company and the family built excuses to hover near it. The guard at the front desk took one look at my name and buzzed us through 2 locked doors. Lila stayed glued to my side. "Why do we have to be here at night?" she asked. "Because some people behave better when witnesses are scarce," I said. Ruth waited at a conference table with black coffee and an expression that said she'd already stopped hoping anyone would act right. A woman in a navy suit stood beside her, calm and unreadable. "I'm Nadine," she said. "Ruth's attorney." My stomach clenched. "Why did your email tell me to bring my daughter?" Ruth didn't soften. "Because your mother tried to take her from school." Nadine slid a folder toward me. Across the top, "Draft petition for emergency guardianship." My vision narrowed. "They're filing this?" "Not yet," Nadine said. "But Brooke wrote it and your mother has been shopping it around." Ruth tapped the table. "Brooke used my office computer last week." She pushed a tablet toward me. Security footage played. Brooke striding into this building like she owned it. My mom behind her with a tote bag. My tote bag. The exact canvas tote I carried to the pharmacy when I was sick. Brooke unzipped it and pulled out a stack of documents. Lila's birth certificate, medical forms, school forms. Heat rushed up my neck. "She was in my house." Ruth's voice stayed flat. "Your mother was. While you were sick, she brought your paperwork here so Brooke could draft concern." Lila's voice came out small. "They were in our house?" I swallowed. "Yes, and I'm sorry." Ruth looked at Lila, softer. "You shouldn't have to be sorry for adults." Nadine flipped to another page. Screenshots of texts sent to relatives. My mom. "Ruth is declining. She doesn't understand what she signs. Maya is isolating her and using the child to manipulate her." "The child," Ruth repeated, disgusted. "Like she's a purse." I clenched my jaw. "If you know this, why not just tell them to stop?" Ruth leaned back. "Because private talks are where they win. They twist, they cry, they rewrite." She pointed at the glass wall that looked out onto the warehouse floor. "So I'm doing this in daylight. Nadine opened a second folder. Ruth updated her trust, she said. My heartbeat kicked. Updated it how? Ruth met my eyes. I'm done funding parasites. The company goes into a trust for Lila. Lila's head snapped up. For me? Ruth nodded once. Not because you're cute. Because you pay attention. Because you fix what you break. Because you don't treat people like props. Lila sat a little straighter, like she'd been offered a place to stand. Relief hit me, then dread. Ruth, I said, that's why they're coming for her. I know, Ruth replied. That's why they can't touch it. Nadine pointed to a paragraph. A professional trustee and an oversight committee control distributions until Lila is an adult. Maya is not a trustee. I blinked. I'm not? Ruth's tone stayed blunt. I'm protecting you. They want to accuse you of stealing. I'm not handing them that. Then Ruth added, like she was naming the weather, Brooke has been taking loans against the company. My stomach lurched. She can't. She did, Ruth said. Using my name and your mother as witness is. Nadine slid lien documents across the table, dates and numbers that made my throat go dry. This wasn't one loan. It was a pattern. Lila squeezed my fingers under the table. Are they going to take me? Not while I'm breathing, I said. Ruth stood. Tomorrow night. The client dinner at Lakeside. Of course. The club my mom loved because it had chandeliers and rich people who liked to feel moral. Your mother and Brooke will be there, Ruth continued, smiling, performing. I want them to perform in front of people who keep records. Before we left, Ruth slid a plain access card across to Lila. What is it? Lila asked. A key, Ruth said. Not to money, to a door. If anything feels wrong tomorrow, you find the security desk and you hand them that card. You don't argue, you don't explain, you just show it. Lila nodded like she understood the seriousness in Ruth's voice. As Nadine walked us out, she lowered her voice to me. That notary Brooke uses? We pulled her commission status today. She's already under investigation for improper acknowledgments. My stomach sank. So they're willing to fake anything. Nadine's eyes stayed steady. Yes, and that's why we document everything. Outside, my phone buzzed. A text from my mom. Wear the blue dress. Ruth likes it. Don't embarrass us. No, is Lila okay? No apology. Just staging. In the car, Lila whispered. Nana said you'd lose the house. I swallowed. Did she say why? Lila looked at the window. She said you're careless. And people who are careless don't get to keep children. My hands tightened on the steering wheel. That was the real threat, dressed up as concern. Before we even reached home, another text came in, this time from Brooke. Be a team player tomorrow. Don't make Lila pay for your pride. They were already writing their version of me. On the drive home, Lila went quiet in a way that scared me more than crying. She kept checking the rearview mirror. Do you think Nana is following us? She asked. I wanted to lie. I couldn't. I don't know, I said. But if you ever feel watched, you tell me, even if it feels silly. When we got inside, her lunchbox was on the counter, clean, zipped, like someone had put it there. I hadn't touched it. Inside was a sticky note in my mom's handwriting. Good girls listen. I threw it away, but Lila had already seen it. Her face did that tight little collapse kids do when they're trying to be brave. And tomorrow night, they plan to write it in front of a room full of witnesses. If you're still with me, hit like, subscribe, and stay because what happened at Lakeside didn't just expose them. It set off something they couldn't control. Part 3. The Lakeside Club smelled like lemon polish and money. Chandeliers, white linen, a harpist. My mom loved it because it made her look important without having to build anything. Lila held my hand as we walked in. She wore a simple black dress she chose herself comfortable. Neat. No glitter. She kept twisting the hem anyway. Brooke spotted us first. Her smile landed like a blade. Oh, she said, eyes sweeping Lila. You let her wear that? Let. Like my daughter was an accessory. Brooke bent down. Did you brush your hair, sweetie? Lila's fingers flew to her ponytail. She's fine, I said. Brooke's smile didn't move. Relax, Maya. We're all trying to help. Help again. Always help, when they meant control. Ruth arrived with Nadine and two quiet security guys in plain suits. My mom rushed over with her best actress face. Ruth, you look wonderful. Ruth didn't hug her. She glanced at my mom's new jewelry and said, Those are new. My mom laughed too brightly. Oh, just something small. Ruth held her gaze a beat too long. Dinner started with polite chatter. Donors asked Ruth about expansion. Executives talked community values. Then Brooke did what she always did. She located a table of people who mattered and turned my child into a prop. She hooked two fingers under Lila's elbow light. Casual, practiced. Come meet everyone, she said. They're excited about you. Lila stiffened. I stepped with them. Brooke beamed at the table. This is my niece, Lila. Ruth has been very interested in her lately. Smiles tightened, eyes sharpened. People loved a mystery, especially when it smelled like inheritance. Brooke laughed. Lila thinks she's going to run the company someday. Then she turned to Lila, voice sugar sharp. Tell them, sweetheart. Lila's mouth opened. Her eyes flicked to me. Brooke's nails pressed into Lila's arm. Just enough. I like math, Lila said quietly. Brooke laughed too loud. Math? Adorable. Like logistics is just math. A man in a suit chuckled politely, then looked away fast, like he didn't want to be in the scene. My mom floated in behind Brooke. Lila is sensitive, she told the table, smiling. We're working on it. Working on it. Like my child was a problem they were fixing. Lila's breathing went shallow. I recognized at the start of panic, the kind that makes her stomach hurt and her voice shrink. I leaned close and whispered, Find Ruth. Now. Take the card if you need it. Lila hesitated. Now, I repeated. She slipped away through adults who didn't notice children unless children were useful. Brooke watched her go and murmured to me, still smiling for the table. You should thank me. If we get guardianship, she'll finally have structure. There it was. Out loud. In public. Not even trying to hide it. You're filing for custody, I said. Brooke's eyes widened in fake innocence. Custody? Maya, don't be dramatic. My mom's voice slid in beside us, gentle as a blanket. We just want what's best for her. Best for her. The phrase that excused anything. I turned my phone slightly, making sure the mic caught it. Say that again? I said softly. Brooke's smile tightened. Stop recording me, so you know it's wrong, I said. The room shifted toward speeches. Silverware clinked. The money hush settled, that silence where people listen because they're calculating. Ruth stepped up to the microphone. Thank you for being here, she said. Then, without easing in, I need to address a rumor. The air tightened. A rumor that I'm confused. Ruth continued. That I don't understand what I sign. Brooke froze. My mom's smile cracked at the edges. Ruth held up a folder. This is my updated trust. Not coerced. Not misunderstood. She paused, letting the room settle. And since people are so concerned about my legacy, I'll make this simple. Her gaze landed on Brooke. The company will not go to you, then on my mom. Or you. My mom went pale so fast it looked like a costume change. Ruth's voice stayed steady. It goes into a trust for my great niece, Lila Carter. A collective inhale swept the tables. Like a story suddenly turned. Nadine clicked a remote. A screen lit up behind Ruth. Lean documents, signature comparisons, and security stills of Brooke inside Ruth's warehouse office. Then the image that made my stomach drop again. Lila's school sign-out sheet with my forged name. Whispers ran like electricity. Is that forgery? Did she take the kid? Who signed that? Brooke stood so fast her chair scraped. My mom reached for her arm, hissing, Not here. Ruth wasn't done. Law enforcement has been notified, she said, calm. The board has been notified, and if anyone approaches that child again without her mother present, they will meet consequences that do not care about family titles. Brooke's voice cracked. This is insane. Ruth waited until the room was perfectly still. And because some of you seem eager to take care of me as I age, she added, I've appointed my medical proxy. She smiled, small and sharp. It's not my sister. My mom's face drained completely. I found Lila near the security desk, clutching Ruth's access card like it was armor. Mom, she whispered, are we leaving? Soon, I said, pulling her close. You did perfect. We were almost at the doors when my phone buzzed. A text from Brooke. Check your mailbox. I looked back. Across the room, Brooke stared at me over my mom's shoulder, smiling again like she had a second act ready. At home, the porch light was on even though I knew I'd turned it off. The mailbox was half open. Inside was a thick certified envelope with my name misspelled by one letter close enough to deliver, wrong enough to feel intentional. I tore it open and my hands went numb. A court date. Emergency custody hearing. 36 hours. Attached was a report claiming Lila was neglected, too anxious, too thin, left alone for long periods. And clipped to the back, like a cute bow on a grenade, was a photocopy of one of Lila's school drawings. Someone had circled the stick figure family and written in red pen, Child expresses fear of mother. Lila stood behind me, reading my face. What is it? She whispered. I forced my voice steady. Nothing you need to carry, I said, even though my hands were shaking, because I understood now. Brooke wasn't just fighting Ruth. She was coming for my daughter through the court system. And my mom was going to stand there smiling like she was saving us. Part 4. The next morning, my mom texted at 6:12 a.m. Like nothing happened. Proud of you for showing up. Let's reset. Reset meant forget what you saw. At 8:03 a.m., I got a voicemail from a cheerful, official voice. Hello, Maya Carter. This is Child Protective Services. We received a report and need to schedule a home visit today. My knees went weak. Brooke didn't just mail a threat. She mailed a machine. I called Nadine with shaking hands. Keep your house calm, she said. Have records ready. If they request to speak with Lila privately, ask for the reason, ask to be within sight if possible, and make sure everything is documented. And call me if anything feels off. I did what I always do when I'm terrified. I got practical. I stocked the fridge. I laid out Lila's school attendance records, her pediatrician notes, her growth charts. I printed the emails and texts. I opened a folder on my laptop labeled Boring, because boring is how you survive. Lila came in with her backpack on. Are you mad at me? She asked, barely a whisper. The question hit me right in the ribs. No, I said immediately. I pulled her close. I'm mad at adults who use kids to win. Lila's eyes filled. Nana said, if I'm honest, you won't have to be tired anymore. My stomach turned. What did she mean? Lila's voice shook. She said, if I tell the lady I'm scared here, they'll give you a break. A break. That was how they sold it. As if taking my child was doing me a favor. At 10:15, a white SUV stopped in front of my house. A woman stepped out with a clipboard and a practiced smile. And climbing out of a second car, like she belonged here, was the notary Brooke always used, the one from church. Not CPS. Not family. Just present. Watching. I opened the door and kept my phone recording low at my side. The CPS worker introduced herself as Denise. She asked to come in. I let her, because refusing makes you look like you're hiding something even when you're not. Denise sat at my dining table and read the allegations. Unsupervised child, yelling, anxiety, neglect. I slid my binder across. Here are medical records, school records, and documentation of an attempted unauthorized pickup from school. Denise blinked at the thickness. The notary scoffed from the doorway. Maya always has binders. That's her thing. Like preparedness was suspicious. Denise asked to speak with Lila. I said, Yes, but I'd like that woman to wait outside. She isn't part of your agency, and she's here to intimidate. Denise hesitated, then nodded. Ma'am, you'll need to step out. The notary's smile tightened, but she left. The second the door clicked, Lila's shoulders dropped like someone cut a string. Denise crouched near the couch, gentle. Lila, do you feel safe here with your mom? Lila nodded. Yes. Is anyone making you say things you don't want to say? Lila swallowed hard, then whispered, My Nana and my aunt. They said if I don't help them, I'm the reason our family breaks. My throat tightened. Denise's pen paused. How did they try to make you help? Lila's fingers twisted the rabbit in her lap. They tried to take me from school, and they told me to say Mom is scary. But she's not. Denise looked at me. Do you have evidence of the school incident? I played the video. Denise watched in silence. Her face changed just slightly, like a professional trying not to react. When Denise left, she said quietly, I'm documenting that the report appears retaliatory. I thanked her and closed the door, then leaned against it and let my lungs remember how to breathe. After Denise left, I walked Lila to the bathroom and let her wash her hands as long as she wanted. Water is something kids can control. When she went to her room, I noticed her backpack sitting on the bed unzipped. The zipper pull was twisted like someone had yanked it. Nothing was missing, but the feeling was. That sense that our home was ours. I checked the window latches. All locked. I checked the spare key box in the garage. Empty. My mom had copied my keys at some point and never told me. Of course she had. I called the locksmith and changed every cylinder that afternoon, then emailed the receipt to Nadine, because apparently my life now required receipts for breathing. Lila watched the new keys being tested, then whispered, Does this mean they can't come in? It means they don't get to surprise us, I said. Not anymore. Then Nadine called with the next punch. The hearing is tomorrow morning, she said. Brooke filed emergency custody, using your ex-husband as the petitioner. My mouth went dry. He hasn't seen Lila in almost 2 years, Nadine finished. He signed an affidavit claiming you're unstable. That was Brooke's other specialty, finding a deadbeat and offering him a stage. That night, while I tried to explain to Lila what a courtroom was, my doorbell camera pinged. I checked my phone. My mom was on my porch, alone, holding a grocery bag like a peace offering. She leaned close to the camera, voice low, like she knew I was watching. Open the door, she said. I just want to talk to Lila. Not my name. My child's. I didn't open. I didn't answer. I turned every light off and sat on the floor outside Lila's room like a guard. At 2:07 a.m., Nadine called again. Her voice was tight. Ruth is in the hospital. My heart slammed. What happened? They're saying she fell, Nadine said. But her medication list was changed tonight through her patient portal. My mouth went dry. Changed by who? Nadine paused. Access logs show a login tied to Brooke's device. I stared at the dark ceiling, listening to my daughter breathe. The fight wasn't just in court anymore. It was in a hospital room, where my mother loved to play caretaker. And if Ruth couldn't speak, they wouldn't need a judge to win. Part 5. The hospital was too bright for 7 a.m. Machines beeped like they didn't care what families did to each other. When I walked into Ruth's room, I saw my mother in the chair beside the bed, legs crossed like she owned the oxygen. She looked up and put on her responsible daughter voice. Oh, Maya, she said softly. Ruth had a little accident. We're handling everything. Handling meant deciding. Nadine was there, jaw tight, holding a sealed envelope. My mom patted the clipboard on her lap. I'm reviewing consent forms. Ruth can't make decisions right now, so you decided you could. I cut in. My mom's smile stayed gentle. This isn't about you. This is about Ruth's safety and Lila's stability. She said my daughter's name like it belonged to her. Lila stepped in behind me with her backpack still on, eyes wide. Hi, Aunt Ruth, she whispered. My mom's face softened instantly. Baby, come to Nana. Lila didn't move. She slid her hand into mine instead. My mom's smile tightened. That's okay, she murmured. We'll have plenty of time soon. My skin prickled. What do you mean? My mom lowered her voice. The hearing is today. If you fight, the judge will see you as unstable. Then she added, like she was doing me a favor. Let us take Lila for a while. Get yourself together. I stared at her. You're asking me to hand you my child. I'm asking you to put her first. My mom whispered, eyes already wet. Tears. Leverage. Same old script. Ruth's eyelids fluttered. Even sedated, her stare could cut. Her lips moved. Record, she rasped. I pulled my phone out and hit record. Nadine's phone buzzed. She stepped into the hall, then returned pale. Administration pulled the access logs, she said. Ruth's medication list was changed overnight. My mom's smile froze. Nadine continued. The login came from a device registered to Brooke. Silence slammed down. My mom stood too fast. That's impossible. Nadine didn't blink. Security is on the way, and so is an officer. Because that's fraud. My mom's face snapped, from polished to furious. This is what you want? She hissed at me. To destroy your family? You destroyed it, I said. I'm just done pretending. Nadine held up the sealed envelope. And for the record, she said, Ruth's medical proxy is not you, not Brooke. It's a licensed care manager. You have no authority here. My mom's eyes darted like an animal searching for a weak spot. She found one Lila. She crouched, voice soft. Honey, you don't want your mom to be sad, do you? Lila's lip trembled. I stepped in front of her. Don't talk to my child like that. My mom looked up at me, eyes wet, voice shaking. I'm trying to keep her from becoming you. That was the truth, finally said. Security arrived. Then, an officer. My mom tried crying again. It didn't land. When they escorted her out, she looked back at Lila with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. You'll thank me someday, she murmured. Lila's voice shook, but she answered, no. For 1 second, my mom's mask slipped and I saw the hunger underneath. Then the door closed, and she was gone. We drove straight from the hospital to the courthouse. Brooke was already there with my ex-husband, both dressed like they were auditioning for custody. Brooke's eyes met mine and she mouthed, You're done. My ex wouldn't look at Lila. In court, Brooke delivered her script. I was unstable. I was isolating Ruth. Lila needed structure. Family had to step in. The judge listened, expression flat. Then Nadine stood up and didn't argue feelings. She argued facts. She played the school video. She submitted handwriting comparisons and the notary investigation notice. She submitted the lien documents. She submitted the hospital access logs tying Brooke to Ruth's portal. Finally, she played Ruth's recorded statement from that morning, clear enough to be undeniable. They're trying to take the child to get the company. Stop them. Brooke's confidence collapsed in real time. My ex's lawyer leaned in, whispering fast. My ex's shoulders sagged like he realized he'd been rented. The judge denied the emergency petition immediately. Then he looked at Brooke. Do you understand the criminal consequences of filing false reports and forging documents? Brooke opened her mouth. Nothing came out. Outside, Brooke tried one last time, hissing, You're ruining her childhood! I stepped between her and Lila. Stay away from my child. 2 weeks later, we had a protective order. Ruth moved into a monitored suite she chose one my mom couldn't storm into with tote bags and tears. The board froze Brooke's access. Investigations began. It didn't fix my past, but it protected Lila's future. A month later, a box appeared on my porch with no return address. Inside was a stuffed rabbit for Lila, with a note in Brooke's handwriting. Peace offering. Lila reached for it automatically. Something in me screamed. I sliced the seam under the ear and felt plastic. A tracker. Brooke didn't want peace. She wanted access. I handed it to the officer assigned to the fraud report. 2 days after that, CPS emailed, "Case closed. Report unfounded." That night, Lila and I wrote 3 rules on an index card and taped it inside the pantry. 1. No secrets for adults. 2. No opening the door alone. 3. If it feels weird, we leave. Ruth visited once she was stable enough, slid Lila a note in her blunt handwriting. "Work hard. Stay kind. Don't let loud people name you." Lila taped it above her desk like it was a law. And here's where I want you in this with me, because I still don't know the clean answer. Would you have cut off your own mother the moment she forged your name? Or would you have tried one more time to keep the peace? Drop your opinion in the comments. Share this with someone who needs it. And subscribe, because families like mine don't stop testing boundaries unless the whole world can see the line.